And we're here. Howdy doody.
What is happening?
Not too much. What's happening with you?
Nothing. I just freaking got here as fast as I could. Oh, my Lord.
I noticed.
I'm like jumping in and I'm like, hey, just rolled the credits.
Well, I figure I'll go ahead and get started. You'll show up eventually.
It's hard for me on these days that are just kind of squashed together.
Yeah.
So we're here. We made it.
We made it. And well, I guess everybody done checked their emails today, right?
Yeah.
I know you have.
Yeah, we finally got a sneak peek, but it's getting close. Got a sneak peek of the thing, the device.
This is what we're talking about right here.
The device.
So April 11th at 9 a.m. is the official launch of this thing.
It's the official day that everybody gets 5 pounds lighter.
That's when you give up your firstborn for the next fix.
What in the heck?
Do we really need to talk about it anymore? Until we actually have some credible data in our hands.
I sent out a message to Mads Tech to tell me what the heck the Osmo 4 is. Well, the Osmo 4, the Action 4 is back in the April 1st into the box of FCC came out.
Well, I imagine that's just they updating their label or they got another certification to put on there. And
yeah,
no, if they change anything, they need to refile it, I guess. Of course, my first thought is if it's on April 1st, is it actually credible?
You know? Well, it's the FCC website. They're not gonna do something goofy on an official website.
Yeah, but I mean, there's plenty of people out there that would create a picture like that and put it out as I found this on the FCC website. As
I know, but I actually found it on the FCC website. Yeah. It's actually there. So, want me to show you?
I actually sold my Action 2 today, so.
Yeah, it's just another label. Just another label. But yes. I'll show you.
I'm about 2 air units away from cleaning my stuff out from DJI. So.
Well, that's sad to hear that you're going to be less important.
Yeah, I'm going to be less of a man because I don't do.
This is the label, by the way. So.
Well, you're going to have to share it or something. If you,
it's right there.
There we go.
So that's the label. It's basically just I mean, obviously there could be other certifications on it.
Yeah, I would like to see what the previous label was.
Right. You'd have to, yep, exactly. But no, I just thought it was out of place. There's I mean,
it's
the one thing.
It's a high voltage lithium ion battery. So
yeah, most of the stuff on here had to do with all the testing had to do with the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi.
Okay.
And that's that's, if you look at the test report, it basically is, as much as I understand it, it was basically,
What's the date on the test reports, or what's the date they're signed?
that's a good idea.
There's a stamp at the bottom.
Yeah, so they're not date of test, so that's an 1/18, so it's January, so it's pretty old.
Yeah, February 27th.
Yeah, that's the issue. So like you're saying, it might be just a change of a label. They've added something to the label. But
maybe they made some sort of change in the firmware that required them to refile.
Yeah.
Some additional functionality that.
Yeah, I don't know enough about that camera, so I just thought that was it was out of place, and that's why I posted that.
Another thing I've been seeing a lot of on the old Facebook again is people asking about this DJI, supposedly coming DJI ban, which is the same politician was a pet peeve, filing the same whatever proposal every legislation period. And it hadn't worked the last 3 times. I don't foresee it working this time.
He doesn't like drones.
Yeah. So
something of the sort. I don't like people with drones.
Well, I think that a lot of it has to do with the general perception of drones. When you say I have a drone, they seem to think you have a little freaking predator that you can fly around that's fully armed. And it's wild.
Yeah, that's a
correct. Our YouTubers testing the Avata 2 right now. They've been testing the Avata 2 for the past 2 months.
Right.
So, I mean, the influencers or YouTubers or whatever you want to call them, they usually have them about 2.5 months prior to launch. So, and let's say hello to the rest of the folks here in the chat. We got Addicted to Drones and the Addicted Angler, which happens to be the same person. He just is in Canada and won't be able to watch that, but he'll catch the rerun. So, howdy, fella, and thank you for subscribing. And we got Eat More Possum out of Oklahoma, or Okie. East Coast Thrills. There are other Canadian connection, Michael. And we got James Barreca. And what else do we have here? That's it.
They are on their way.
And Possum sold his FPV goggles and selling his Vistas going to 03. Damn, money. You won the lottery or something, Possum?
More money. Possum's got the same problem I've got.
One, if you're lucky, you get about $100 out of a Vista. So that's $130 for on top of that for the 03. So
should we talk about the freaking elephant in the room right there?
Oh, you got an elephant?
Right there. There's an elephant right there.
I have an elephant too.
All right, we're gonna do a competition here. Which build is better?
Which one is prettier?
Mario 5 is complete as of yesterday. Finally, holy crap! That took forever. Kai knows the whole story.
Many a phone calls later.
Yeah. Oh boy. But it was just small stuff. It was just little stuff piled on little stuff. And in conclusion, there's not a lot that you have to do once everything is, once everything's kind of put together.
Yeah.
We said
Just when you turn your flight stack 180 degrees, there might be a few settings that you have to deal with.
Yeah, if anybody was going to start building for sure, I would not recommend doing anything out of the ordinary, especially turning the stack or the ESCs. There's enough to do where you can just orient things the other direction, and you have you have fewer problems. Not that there would be that many problems anyway.
Well, Mike says he heard DR, I'm guessing that's you, is giving away 5 free subscriptions to your random tech channel. Is that true?
Well, I did.
He does it on his live stream on Fridays.
Right. They're just automatic. So every once a month, YouTube basically gives them to you, and you can do what you want with them. You can reward them, you can award them, whatever. I just give them all out. I'm just like, there you go.
So, what is the best kit to buy for a first-time FPV builder? I have soldering and electronic experience. You're pretty much looking at it right there.
Yeah, that's pretty easy. I like this one gives you a lot of like little extra pieces. Where say if you bought like just your typical, rectangle, with X frame.
Well, I guess it's an awful broad question, James. Let's start with what type of quad are you looking to build?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Are you going to build a 5-inch or do you want to stay sub 250?
Yeah, there you go. That's a totally more specific question.
Okay. Let's start with, weight doesn't matter and sub 250. And then we can, kind of sub 250. See? So you want a frame that stays under. You need a fairly lightweight frame. So about 70 grams, I'd say, is about the highest you want to go on that. Because all the grams, they add up in a hurry.
And you want a frame that isn't very specialized in its design. Simple.
Yeah.
That's conducive to the flight stack you're going to use.
This is the Callus Machine Works 4-inch Shocker Ultralight. And this is up 250 with a 550 milliamp hour 6S battery. And it only has a few grams to spare at that point. So next question is, which video system do you want to use?
Yeah, you want to go.
Are you looking to build analog? Are you building digital? If you build digital, which one? DJI, HD0, or Walksnail.
Because there's quite a price variance even with the digital systems.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that like analog goggles are cheap, and they're not.
No?
They can
But I
be.
must say the new Sky Zones, the 04X Pros, kind of have me intrigued. So, okay. Digital. Which digital? DJI, Walksnail, or HD0? Which means, you know, you cannot use a Walksnail VTX with a DJI goggle, or, there's no mix and match. Okay, DJI. So we're talking 03 or Vista.
Yeah, I saw a digital Vista system for about $600. That was goggles, and that was V2 goggles, controller.
Yeah.
The
Well,
old
I don't know what goggles he has. So
Yeah. I would just say if you're going to start from scratch,
he wants to go 03.
Yeah. Boy.
You're really pushing it because the 03 is incredibly heavy.
And you have to choose between the Integras, which I actually would recommend for certain reasons, and the Pros.
Oh, so he's got the Integra goggles.
Okay.
So Integra goggles, I would definitely recommend go to 03 because the Integras don't do too well with the Vistas.
No.
And for everybody out there, I mean, this is my firm belief, and the 03 units are only for the goggles too, or the Integras. If you run the old Vistas or the original Air unit, stay with the V2 goggles. So,
right, and they work. The range is great on those. That's so if you're looking at range, you were making the connection between the type of antennas and compatibility with the system it was built for. So you try to stay as close to the system it was originally built for, and then you're going to stay out of trouble.
So, and since the Vada 2 is about to drop, don't even get confused with that because those goggles are not going to work for the old Vistas anyhow. And at this point, I even question if the 03 units are compatible. Possum chose the goggles too over the Integras. Well, everybody's entitled to their mistakes.
You know that there's
I'm sorry, Brand.
There's no right answer for any of these questions, and that's the thing that makes this hobby fun.
Yeah,
is there's you can go any direction you want. Like if I'm cheap, I'm a tight ass. So if I could start over fresh today, and Walksnail had its crap, if Caddx had its goggles crap together, I would probably have gone that direction. And I'm waiting for that moment, because everything is less expensive when it comes to building. The Walksnail units are much cheaper and they're lighter. But the goggles are not.
Hold on. We got a little zinger here.
Uh-oh, here we go.
So James apparently has the Vada. Took it, was a spotter out to 1.5 miles, no problem. No, you wouldn't have a problem taking it out. You probably could take it out to 3 miles.
Oh yeah, it goes. If the battery could go that long, you freaking can go.
Yeah. No.
That's the thing with the Vada. The new one, that's why I'm saying.
Understand when you fly these things or build whatever set 250, that thing, those FPV quads won't fly anything like the Vada. So it's a huge disclaimer up front.
Yeah.
And Mike, we're going to get to your simulator question here in a second. Find a lightweight frame, 3 to 3.5 inch in size. And we'll just pull up our favorite shop here for a second. I mean, whichever supply you prefer to deal with. And we'll go to frames by size, and we'll start at 3 inch. All right, let's go at this. All right. So we've got Impulse RT, Apex 3-inch frame credit. That can stay sub 250 pretty easily. Armerton Gecko stays 350, sub 250 pretty easily. These big center whoops, the 3-inch and the 3.5 inch, you're not going to get under 250
because you got those prop guards and they add so much weight. That's
yeah.
You can get to 25s low or that low.
Let's take a look-see down. 2.5 inch is actually a good size for sub 250 center whoop. But be prepared, your soldering is going to be pretty small.
By the way, I got new glasses coming and my eyes are really messed up. So that's why I couldn't see.
And we got Sergio. Hey, Sergio.
I've got my left eye is really good. My right eye is blurry. So I had to separate out my prescription. So I've got new glasses coming. I'm excited to be able to see. It was really cool to be able to see the little tiny words. But yeah, if your eyes, obviously, I think if you have wear glasses, regularly, I mean, you're going to be able to do this hobby. You just got to get all the tools, and that's when I started. I didn't have the tools. I didn't have the
biggest thing you need is a
good magnifier,
magnifying glass, because stuff gets small.
And it's nice to have a good soldering station too. This soldering station I got is pretty good. It heats up really fast. I mean, I turn it on and it takes maybe 45 seconds to heat up to 750.
This Gap RC website is lower than molasses, but.
And I think when I in this whole Mario build, I bought it. I think my soldering station was under $100. It's like $55 or something. I spent a little bit money on my magnifier. I got a bunch of different solder. I got enough solder to make 1,000 projects.
So here's Gap RC has the CT25 frame that I think is a pretty good candidate for sub 250 build. It's a little on the heavy side, but
for 03.
For an 03 unit, if you start coming from Avada, that's probably the direction you want to go. Stick with a little center whoop and then work your way up from there. So that's probably a good starting point. Then you're going to need a stack, and I probably would recommend this thing right here, the Get Taker G4, 35 amp. Be plenty good enough for that 2.5 inch. Some 1404 motors, and you got a receiver in the 03 unit. So that's about all you're gonna need. This actually has a plug-in for the DJI unit on it. So it's here on the back side. You just have to solder on your motors and you're all set. Has a USB-C connector on it. I just recently used this for repair for a friend. A fellow drone pilot here in San Antonio. He has a Cinelock 25 that he fried their flight controller on when he shorted out the power line to the camera. So, but yeah, 1404 motors. This little all-in-one, and the rest is taken care of through your O3 unit. So that's probably a good starting point. Or you can just buy it already built. Which one is this? This is the Cinelock 25. Nope. Is this Dark Star?
Can I teach somebody something about little tiny Cinewhoops? Okay, this is the Pavo 25. Okay, and I'm gonna.
With a blown ESC.
Yeah, now you can see the bubbled one there. You see where if you look at the
yeah, we can see the one chip there being out of line and all kind of wacky.
Yeah, and
the one next to it's got a great big hole in it.
And you can actually see the mistake. You know, right. This actually happened. I was fixing. Let's see if I can find. I was fixing this one right here. See, that looks good right there.
You bridged over to the next.
You see that right there? You see how that one is now bridged over there's 3 little pins right there. Now, I mean, it's way easier to see when you're looking through your magnifier, but anyway, that one right there burned out. Obviously, it arced. That's a $75 mistake. But it wasn't working. That motor right there was not functioning because this was a screwed up soldering point. So anyway, anyways, this is going to be parts. I'm going to take all the parts off this thing. I'm going to tear off the capacitor. I'm going to take the motors off. I'm going to throw this flight controller away. And I'm going to take the receiver out of here. This is an ELRS receiver that's coming out. So I'm going to, and I might even reuse the frame. Just depends if I can find something for it. But anyways, let me get out of there so it's not hurting your eyes. But yeah, you can almost get a.
Focus would be a.
Yeah, it's I've got it so zoomed in that. You know, it's probably zoomed in too much, but you can see the mistake. You know, you can see the messed up part. So, but that's what happens.
But I'm going to circle back to Michael real quick. He was asking about the best FPV simulator that I can learn to fly on. I have a powerful desktop. I guess it all depends on how much money you want to spend. Now, as far as learning goes, I like the DRL simulator, Drone Racing League, DRL. They have little training classes built into the program, and they have some pretty nice scenes to fly in that are also fairly big. Some of the simulators, the flying areas are extremely tight. So I kind of like the DRL.
Is that
I
one?
think
How
that
much is
thing
that?
is about 20. It's either 20 or 30 bucks. And you get it off what's this thing called? Steam. Oh, what do you call this thing again?
Steam? Yeah.
Steam. What the hell they call themselves again?
I don't. I've had to stay away from them for a while because I've had too much extracurricular activity. You can go small on the. Get us back in the screen there. There you go. But yeah, it's. You want to see the new parts that came in finally? Those are the new parts that are replacing there's the frame. These frames are cheap. This is a replacement frame. The other one's not broke. I just got one. They're like $6. This is the weakest link on that. Nope, this is the weakest link right here. This is the camera mount. This is the weakest link on the Pablo 25, besides not being able to get to what you need to get to. I don't know. I would stay big. I would learn to build, and then obviously it just depends, and just get it. I guess 3.5 inch. You can make that. You can make that sub 25. You did, or sub 250. You were able to accomplish 3.5, and be able to offer some suggestions. All-in-one flight controller to drop weight down. Right? You were talking about. Isn't that the taker you were telling me about?
The what?
The flight controller ESC, the AO, all-in-one AIO.
Well, the Get C has a people drive me freaking batty here, will you?
But as he's getting his thing ready to go here, yeah, there's a ton of things that you gotta. First of all, just take an extra amount of time, way more than you think you're going to take, so you can go through things in a sane frame of mind, because this could drive you crazy if you're in a hurry. If you're in a hurry, unless you're bot grinder and you can do it impaired, but a frame that's made for a certain stack, and then get the stack that's made for the frame. So if you're going to build a Mario 5, buy the Speedy Beat stack. It's like $89 for a 55 amp ESC all-in-one with the F7 flight controller, which gives you a lot of UARTs and Bluetooth. Everything is built in. What else is built into that? They have it has a built-in power LEDs that show you how much power it's got. So
see, here it is. It's
DRL.
just called Steam. It's DRL, official game of Drone Racing League. This is a good one, and then Liftoff is a good one too. But for learning, I would recommend the DRL, because it actually has training sequences in there, so you can actually learn to fly.
Liftoff is, I don't know. I didn't learn much from Liftoff. You know where I learned the most?
Liftoff is fun just to doodle around a little bit.
Yeah, I learned the most.
You can fly in Bartwald's yard.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
But DRL, as far as learning, I would prefer the DRL. So
sim time does help. It just helps you with your
Yeah.
Just your stick awareness, so you know how to make turns. You know, you get that little bit of muscle memory. It's not the same as flying. It's not going to be the same as flying a regular quad. That's going to actually flying. I learned flying a regular quad was easier, but you have to you got to get your brain understanding what your thumbs do, because it's different than when you're flying your GPS quad. They're different, and it's hard to go back. So when you fly a bunch of FPV and then you go get your mini out, your brain has to readjust. That's why people that fly the Avatas have a kind of an advantage, because they're constantly flipping back and forth. You got a kind of FPV and then you got a full manual.
Okay. And Brown wants to know, beside lower prices, what are advantages of an Integra over goggles too? The biggest advantage of the Integra over the goggles too is the price point.
They fit differently too. That's another thing.
I don't think they fit differently. I think they're the exact same case.
Well, you got the integrated battery. That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So you don't have to dink around with the wires.
The integrated battery is nice, but it's also a limit on that thing.
Yeah, you can only get 2, maybe 3 flights out of a single battery. That sucks.
And I like, and I actually for the goggles too, I bought a shorter cable, and then I have the battery in the strap and just a short cable coming around to plug in the goggles. You can get that off Amazon for like $14. So that works. The touchpad is a bit of a pain in the neck on the goggles too, but they're also pretty quick to learn now that they have these little shadow bars in the goggle picture, so you can which way to swipe. Now, I mean, they now have auto record, so you don't have to deal with that anymore. But reality is, for the Vista, stick with the V2 goggles. If you fly O3, get the goggles 2 or the Integras. And Bob Casey is here. Howdy. Sergio, I think we said howdy. And Lambo is here. And Lambo was congratulating you on your Mario 5 build finally being complete.
Thank Kai, because he got me across the finish line yesterday.
I had to talk him off the ledge a couple times.
I wasn't on the ledge. I was just
No.
stopped. I was in the stopping point.
Of course you were not.
I never quit. And I guess you could call that
he took a step back.
That's the biggest.
He didn't quit, but he took a step back.
Oh yeah, the biggest problem we had was I had to flip to put the power to the front, which I actually recommend. I like to have the power in the front. I really like that. It's just convenient. Okay. You have to, and it's a little bit easier to solder on and initial start, but you have to flip your flight controller around, and you have to tell the ESCs and the flight controller where it's at now. So you have to go through these steps, and everything is a little different.
We had to adjust motor direction a little bit,
but it's not something you can't figure out. You could ask somebody. And there's a lot of videos. That's another thing. If I didn't have Kai, I would still be looking, but I would eventually got through the problem. My first big problem, I knuckled down and figured it out. And that was getting my UARTs correctly selected. Just knowing what's got to do what and what doesn't have to be clicked on.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Ben is here. I guess time to is it already time to quit again?
No, 4:42.
Ben is here early. Hey, he says, "Hey, dronies." Hey, Ben, nice to see you. I need to make a trip to Austin and go fly and get with Ben and a couple guys up there. You know, well, we're going to have to do it on a windy day so Kelly can participate. Why does it need to be windy when we're flying? So Kelly can fly his kite, because he's not allowed to fly FPV anymore.
Hey, it's easy to break stuff. That's for sure.
And Addicted to Drones made it after all. Howdy, feller. Good to see you.
You can break things.
So, Addicted, where are you at? There you are. I'm going to smurf you. Turn you blue. There we go. And Addicted, you already got a fan? What's James? So I guess I could show this thing. This was a feller here in San Antonio. He blew his flight controller, so I put him a new flight controller in there. You can see it in there somewhere.
And then there's that Vista, and there's a little Vista shoved in there.
Yeah, there's a Worcester shoved in there. Now, takeoff weight on this thing, I mean, without batteries, like 157 grams. So this is going to be easy to keep under 250. Now, I don't think you're going to be easy to keep it under 250 with an 03 unit. So you need to lighten the load or use a smaller battery. And that's, most of these quads that are coming out now that are sub 250, 403 are usually little 2S units, 2-inch, 2.5-inch, and then they use small batteries to keep the weight down. So,
yeah, I'm not a person that needs a GoPro, and the only advantage I see with a GoPro is if you want to do quick turnover of your video. I just like to fly, and then just record it. It's recorded in my 03, and then when I get home, I've got 128 gig card that's got 20 videos on it, and you can just go through and choose, but you don't have to sit and take it off, and then you don't have the center of gravity issue, and because you have to go and tune all that in. If you're going to fly with a GoPro, there's special tunes for that weight, especially with the new software, with the new firmware. They try to weight balance.
You know what? If you build a drone new, and Matt Stick, actually, this comes straight from Matt Stick, and he knows a few things about the building stuff. If you build a new drone and you just leave it on the stock beta flight settings for the time being, and you fly it, and you have problems with it, without not flying right, you have a hardware issue. You either didn't configure beta flight correctly, or you have an hardware issue. So,
yeah, Kai talked me off the ledge on that one. I was very close to putting a tune on this one, and he's like, "Don't do that.
Don't create any problems."
And I didn't.
Start was the stock beta flight tune, and then fly it a couple times, and if it needs tuning, then tune it. But don't go in a beta flight and arbitrarily pick some tune because a lot of those tunes in beta flight, when you select them, come with a warning, may cause flyaways. So the presets are great and make it easy for noobs to, get a tune, download it for a quad. But be careful not to create any problems that you didn't have to begin with. So start with the stock, fly it for a bit and see what it does. And then if you have an actual problem, diagnose the problem. So
that's what I did with my antenna, by the way. It's in there.
and that's less than ideal.
Yeah, but it's right now. That's where it's got to be. I'm not going to do any. I'm not going to reach out and touch anybody on the golf course anytime soon. So, but, and I did go with the 2 straps, and I did reorganize the back end. I didn't need to do this. I could have left it. I could have left it 03. Could have left the signal wire on for 03, and everything would have been just fine. But I wouldn't have had the GPS, and this worked out. So I kind of like the rear end when it's got 2 antennas on it. Too bad we couldn't get the 03 antenna right, or no, the crossfire, the ELRS antenna like right on here. Just put it right next to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend.
You want me to mount it on the side here, right? Or on the back?
Either mount it on the side or
right on the back there, like right there.
Right on the back here.
Yeah, I got that. I just got to put some holes in there. I just got to get
punch a little hole in right there.
Right there.
And then run the wire in underneath to your receiver.
Right.
Or just put a small cut in it.
Right. I can use a strap.
Cut straight up in the middle. Put a little hole on top to keep it from tearing. And then glue your antenna, but no, glue it vertical like that.
Yeah. So that would be, then it would be vertical.
Yeah.
And it would be facing the rear.
It's going to be in this, going to have this forward attitude anyhow. And the antenna will be pretty much vertical at that.
Right. It'll be like that. It'll be flying with a vertical. So.
And the reason we're trying to avoid putting the ELRS antenna horizontal is because they have a real bad habit of having a null on either end of the antenna. And whenever that null points at you, you run the risk of losing control signal.
So basically up and down, just like that, but right here on this back end. I think I'm going to do that. But I just was worried about compromising these two. But TPU is pretty, it's pretty forgiving, and I've got enough space right there.
If you just put a small vertical cut back there and then top it off with a small hole.
Yeah. Yeah, it needs a little bit of it. It needs a little bit more flight time here.
Oh, Akirato was here too. Howdy, feller. Get all of y'all in here. And don't be, Jim Sterling is here.
Welcome in, Jim.
He says we can restart now. He's done with dinner. And you'll just have to, after the stream, rewind it and catch the first half of it. And y'all don't be shy about hitting that thumb, please. I appreciate it.
Yeah, there's people are still going to fly 5-inch. Lambo was talking about that earlier, but people are just going to do that because they like it. They're like, catch me if you can.
Well, the 5-inch is slowly being replaced by the 3.5-inch.
Right.
Because they're flying is eerily similar. And the 3.5 inches,
batteries are cheaper.
The cheaper, you have batteries that are cheaper. It's easier to keep them sub 250, and it just makes life a lot easier.
Maybe that's the next thing I build is a 3.5 inch. But I was going to build a Cinewhoop, but maybe not. You got your 3.5 out. You probably got 2 of them.
Well, I've got this one is a 4-inch. This frame was also available as a 3.5 inch.
Yeah.
And the weight difference between the 3.5 inch and the 4-inch was 1 gram.
Wow.
And like, I'll go ahead and just go for the 4-inch.
Right. Is that an all-in-one too on that one?
There is an all-in-one on there. It's a little J. Hamku all-in-one on there.
Yeah, there's such a huge advantage to doing an all-in-one where you don't have to dink around, moving things around. With the all-in-one, you can just kind of keep everything in the same. And they're doing a really good job putting connectors on there.
You want 3.5. This is the Baby Hawk 2 HD that I slightly modified. It's 6S now, and it's got a walk snail unit on it.
Right.
A little flatter profile because I'm not having that HD unit and the tail. It's a walk snail unit in the middle now.
Right. Now you have that stacked on there?
No, the walk snail unit actually hangs off the top plate, or does it? Nope, it's stacked.
Make it a little bit bigger so I can see it. Just go big. You can go go the screen. Just go big on the screen. There is. I just wanted to see there it is. Okay.
So there's a.
See, you can make
one at the bottom, and I put a little spacer on it, and put the walk snail on top of it.
Now, the big problem with the walk snail right now is recording. You're not going to record on board, unless you have it.
No, they are recording on board, but it's 1080. It's not 4K.
Oh, that one does have a card slot on it.
Okay. It's got a 32 gig chip on it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It has the internal memory.
They have internal memory. And I believe that's the newer 32 gig. It's either 8 or 32, but either way, on 1080, you get quite a bit of recording time out of it.
Yeah, that's especially with 1080. Say it was 128. They put a 128 in there. That's like
there's a little white board right there in the middle. How do I get to it? From the top, probably right under my finger there. That little white port, that's what you plug into. Plug that into your computer, download the files.
Yeah, that has the little adapter that plugs into that, right?
Yeah, there's a little cable that they
USB-C adapter.
It's this cable right here.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a little white plug that goes into the VTX, and then the other one is just USB-A, and you just download the files onto your computer. Okay, this one I souped up a little. So this is 6S. Normally the Baby Hawks are 4S units, but I put 1604 motors on it. It was 2850 kV, I believe it is, and a 6S flight controller. You see the capacitor hanging out in the end in the back there a little bit.
So what's the disadvantage of connecting your capacitor closer to the XT60? I've seen that a lot where it's integrated up more.
You want you want your XT60 as close to the flight controller as you can.
Your capacitor,
right? Okay. Your capacitor needs to be plugged in and be as close to the flight controller as possible.
Right. Okay.
There's times where it's not practical to have the capacitor soldered to the flight controller.
Gotcha.
So the next viable option is, and this is actually what's going on this one, it has the capacitor soldered to the XT30 connector in this case, because there's no way I can even try to squeeze a capacitor into the bottom of this quad.
Yeah.
There's just no room for it.
Right. Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
And you can buy the lead. What's the XT30 and XT60 connectors on it? What's a capacitor already soldered to? You can buy those already made.
Yeah, it's not hard. It's just a thought process that you kind of have to know, well, why am I doing that? And then of course
you want the capacitor as close to the flight controller as possible, because it kind of acts as a buffer. If you want to layman turn it down a little bit. So am I still using Crossfire on which one? All of my smaller quads, I use Express LRS and 5-inchers, and the Cinewhoop I use Crossfire just because I have a bunch of Crossfire receivers laying here and I need to do something with them. I have a Boxer ELRS radio with a Crossfire module in the back. I got the Crossfire module in the back. I got the Express LRS built into the radio. So I've got the one I was just holding right now. The Baby Hawk's got an Express LRS receiver on it. Let's see. Focus. There we go.
If I ever do anything long range again, I'm going to have to think about Crossfire, right? Or 900 megahertz.
Or 900 megahertz ELRS. Let me rephrase it. If you think about long range, we need to look at 900 megahertz.
Yeah.
Whichever one it's going to be.
Yeah, right now I'm just, if I'm going to do anything long range, I'm better off sitting with a DJ, just staying DJI.
No, this whoop right here, this has a Crossfire receiver on it. This is not mine. This is just something I repaired for somebody. But yeah, he's got a Crossfire on it.
Do you have that other frame handy? The one that you're trying to show me? That's a Synolog 25 frame. I'm thinking about taking the parts that I've got and some of the parts that Kai has and building the 25s in Synolog. It just seems that it's laid out a little bit better for.
Well, there's the main frame.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's interesting. That's a little more of a square compared to the one. Mine's more of an H frame.
Yeah. No, this is an X frame.
Right.
And then that's 25 by 25 mounting right here.
So there's your wall.
So your all-in-one's going to be turned by 45 degrees. So you have two motor wires like here and here, and then the other one is going to be up here on either side. So
I put the 1 watt Crossfire module on Boxer. It's nice to fly both with one controller. Yeah,
that's basically the same thing I'm doing.
And that's kind of where, my next step is to move into like the same thing, like to a Boxer controller, where I can make that switch. Would you buy the Boxer controller with built-in ERLRS and go to and then go backwards?
You can only buy the Boxer with
Okay.
Express LRS build
So
out.
then you just buy
Either
those modules.
Express LRS or 4-in-1. And I don't see the point of buying 4-in-1 anymore.
Yeah. And then just buying the module for
Yeah.
Crossfire. That's kind of
And really and truly, if you're looking at the Boxer, get the Max and get it over with, because it's got the AG1 CNC gimbals in it.
got the good hardware in it. Yeah, I was just looking this. Yeah, there it is right there. I'm just looking at it. M2. The one I'm looking at's all got red. It's all red on the inside. You can get any color. You can get it black or gold or.
Boxer Max.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right there. Radio Master. That sure looks nice. That thing looks really good.
Red, you got the gold one. That's the pimp version.
Pimped out. You'd know I'd have to get the pimped one.
Yeah.
And then there's your modules down below there. There's the let's see. You can get a pimped out module for it. But none of those are. So yeah, it's see the thing is you got to start thinking, everybody, James is looking like, oh my gosh, just more money. That's the way I look at it. More money, more money, more money. But you slowly kind of get
it's one radio that controls everything.
Right. And you don't have to worry about it getting, and when you're using your own receivers, you don't have to worry about it getting, outsourced somewhere where you can't use it anymore. You don't have to worry about proprietary, DJI. You can always run your quad with your transmission system, and then you just add the VTX of your choice. So the cost becomes the VTX, and that's why Walk Snails is got the advantage, because their prices right now are so low.
Here's the Lambo was asking about it. The regular Boxer was the CC 2500 for only $99. That's this one.
Yeah,
this has plastic gimbals in it. It only has the CC 2500 chip on it, so that's only for like D8 and D16.
So you just have to.
It's got a few extra multi protocols on the CC 2500, but that is like the bottom of the barrel. I wouldn't even recommend if you're gonna start really cheap, just start with the LRS. But I mean that's $140.
Yeah.
But if you get the AG01s on top of it, they're $139. Okay. So between the two of them, 240, that's 280. And we'll just go to the Max radio. Your gold one is 260. So they actually let you save, $20.
And you just remember that your radio, you're going to buy once, and you're going to, all the people that are using their radios been using Crossfire for, 5 years, they've been just using the same protocol. They could literally keep their radio forever if they just decide to, rip stuff back out of stuff you already put it into. It's like me taking that little ELRS module out of that other quad that I'm not using, that's broke. It's, it's trash. So now I'm going to, take the parts out. Yeah. I'll take the usable parts out, including the motors. The motors are brand new, and Kai's already showed me that you can take those motors with the short leads on them, throw an LED in between the two sets, and then you can lengthen it out. And now you can reuse your motors on a 3-inch, say, if you wanted to. with that thing.
Yeah, it's really time to go now. Lloyd just showed up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you're late, but you made it. It's all good. You're forgiven this time. Don't know about next time, but this time we'll forgive you. Because we're generous like that. Howdy, Lloyd. How the hell are you, brother?
So is anybody buying that freaking awesome product that's coming out in a couple days? Anybody dropping the cashola?
You are. No, there's no need for you to keep lying about it. We all know you're gonna buy it. And then you're gonna ban all your FPV stuff again because you're all fixated on Nevada 2. Mr. Croc will never be retrieved.
Maybe I'll look for Mr. Croc.
Mr. Croc will just deteriorate in the wilderness.
Mr. Croc is right now, we don't even know if he could be in somebody's house right now.
You know, in 5,000 years from now, some archaeologist is going to go find that thing out in the lava dirt somewhere next to a golf course.
In the wild.
And, you know, the so-called intellectuals at the university is going to be sitting there scratching their butts trying to figure out what this device was doing next to a golf course. Okay. Were they playing golf with drones? That's gonna be, you're gonna be the next sensational archaeological find in the future, where your drone apparently lost its ball dropping mechanism during the crash and was not found. So now they only have the drones, and they'll be thinking, okay, these guys were trying to hit the cups with balls falling off of drones.
That's a rather long story there.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be like, so think of it in Oak Island kind of terms. Okay.
I can't even think that way because it's
And
that place.
so
That
just think of the narrator. Just think of the narrator from Oak Island. They found a drone. What could that mean? Is this a potentially important find to solve the mystery?
We'd have to get Carmen Legg to look at it. Well, let me see here. I've looked at several nails today, and this is just another nail. You could equate it to bricks in a wall, and all in all, you know. That's, oh my God, that show is horrible. I'm still watching it. I'm watching it in spite of it right now. They have done nothing for an entire season. They have found nothing. They have done nothing. And the season's almost over. This is the worst season of Oak Island. This is probably the last one. Nobody's ever watching that ever again. By the way, that lipo, the blue lipo, it has now 2 cells that have died. So yesterday I went to just check it out.
The Forest battery.
Yeah, it's I gotta stick a fork in that one. Yeah, I was thinking about using it, and I'm like, no, not with the new, not with the new build on putting that battery on anything.
Lambo says it's on tonight, and they're getting close.
They're getting close. Oh boy. I watch them on Wednesday, and that gives me. Oh no, is it what? Yeah, tomorrow. I wait till tomorrow,
because then you can't watch it without commercials.
Yeah, it's I get more disappointment one more day. Plus, I've been watching Shogun. Shogun came back out. They redid it, and the new episode of Shogun comes out the same time. So, yeah, so they redid the book Shogun. I don't know if you watched it way back in the 70s when that came out or late. Well, it was the early 80s.
Shogun or Shogun?
Shogun. About the about the Portuguese sailor that or the English sailor that lands, and he's at odds with the Portuguese, and he's living in, in Japan. And
okay, you get these random text messages too through WhatsApp every so often.
Yeah, I just ignore those damn things.
Yeah, but this one's kind of interesting. It says, hello, have you received the clothes I sent you?
Those kind? Yeah.
So
oops, let me turn that off. That's not good.
I'm very tempted to find a picture and reply with it. Is this what you're talking about?
My camera.
Hey.
There we go. I had to fix that. Ooh, that's on. Yeah. They're getting close. So not close. They're all scams, everything on there. Yeah, don't.
You know, if they would have started 10 years ago and just dug a big ass hole in the money pit area, they would be halfway to China right now and would have found anything and everything in the ground that was there.
Exactly.
They could have just, mapped everything on the way down.
That's what the first guy did that dug it all up in the first place. The guy with the bulldozer and the big equipment, he just dug a giant hole. He says, you know what? We're just going to go down.
Harley FPV is here. Howdy, feller. And here, Richard Chamberlain played the first Shogun. That's you're really showing your age right now.
Richard Chamberlain did good with the first one. This guy actually does pretty good, but he looks kind of strange at first. He doesn't look like a real human being. I don't know if it's because of the way they're shooting the video, but yeah, Richard Chamberlain kind of had that swagger, and he spoke a little differently. They probably made it more accurate historically now. So anyway, yeah, I recommend you watch it. It's pretty good. It's been really good. It's been pretty good. But yeah, I still got it.
Guys, another reminder, hit that thumb if you would, please.
So I got to test my GPS outs yet for Mario. I've got to do a bunch of stuff yet. All it's done is fly.
You just barely flew it for the first time last night.
Oh yeah, and everything was smooth. Like I said, it doesn't need a tune for sure. I didn't go upside down, but I will this next flight. This next flight, I'll push it a little bit more and check out the battery. And
that's just like me. First time out, just easy cruising and see how she reacts.
Well, I'll go a direction. I'm actually going to go out a little bit and see how the antennas are working. So I'll go out at a direction where I know I can recover it, and a place that
keep an eye on your link quality.
Yeah, look at my link quality and just look and see what's going on. I've got a really good test for that in this location, so it'll be good. And then I can also check out the GPS. I can click the GPS on to see if it. This time I actually had the GPS set at a fixed height, 150 feet. So it won't go to 300 feet again. It'll go to 150, which is high enough to pretty much take care of anything that I've got going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucked. I mean, crap.
Yeah, the only thing that I don't like about this Mario thing is right there how the camera sticks out in front of the cage that's supposed to be protecting it.
Yeah.
Camera protection, that camera cage is made specifically.
What do you mean? There's nothing sticking out there.
So there's a high likelihood that I will be selling the frame minus the quad minus the VTX. So you can stick an 03 unit into it.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, there we go.
So James, if you're interested,
There you go.
maybe we can work something out. Email me. We'll work something out with you.
Yeah, she'll be a good ripper, and it'll be a good practice quad, 5-incher. And yeah, the VTXs it's best to just recycle. One cable, pull it out, and then anybody can stick their own VTX in there.
Yep.
Make life easy.
Well, on this one, there's no DJI plugin on the flight controller. But I can just solder a wire on it that's ready for a 03 VTX to plug into.
Yeah, there's a benefit to that, and then there's and then you've got the pin issue, and like you're saying, you don't.
Well, I already know what the pinout looks like for the 03, and I'll solder the other end on the flight controller.
It just takes you a couple seconds to get that thing off too. You just heat up your soldering iron and just pick and pick it right off.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, with it's nice to plug stuff in, but those plugs are very tedious. And
yeah, you just have to pay attention that they're pinned correctly, because every flight controller manufacturer has a different philosophy as to what pin needs to be where. And,
yeah, and then you
found out the hard way, GPS cable.
Oh yeah, my GPS cable, it needed to be realigned. Yeah, I just didn't look at it. Now I'll look at it.
What kind of quad is that? That's the Speedy Bee Mario 5. We kind of did that as a live stream project. We both built one. I built mine with Walksnail, and he built his on 03. I got a flywoo stack in this thing.
This one's Speedy Bee all around.
We'll have a Walksnail GPS with compass.
Same compass, same GPS. What were your antennas that you ended up getting? Are those the
these were antennas I had laying around. These are Mamba, diatone Mamba antennas. So, yeah, I had the pigtails and the antennas laying around from previous projects. I was going to use them in a different project, never got around to it, and now I finally found them.
I would say you could put that project together in a week.
What project?
This one. You could about a week. Just
you can do it. You can do it quicker.
I say a week because most people don't have unless you're just sitting there all day long. I spent
you put it together over weekend. Easily.
Yeah, I agree. You got one day to get your frame set up, you get your motors on, and then another day to get your flight controller organized. As long as you have all the parts. That's the big thing, is waiting for pieces. That's what I had to do. I had to wait for miscellaneous things to show up because I didn't have it planned out ahead.
Well, you don't. I wouldn't have to wait because I've got all those freaking cables laying around. So
yeah, you just and I would buy cable kits. I would have extra pigtails laying around. Those are all cheap. You can have, and the 3-inchers are perfect length. I mean, they're you just have to make sure that you have your VTX in the back. 3 inches will do pretty much most every quad. So, and those things are like $6, and then you got your antennas, which you got a little money in your antennas. They're about $14 a piece, depending on what you buy. You can get them cheaper. Just looking for sales, your props you'll have sitting around.
All right, guys. One more reminder: hit that thumb, please.
Yeah, we better leave on time today, but
yeah.
Anyway, Yeah, everything went good. That's a great project, and I'm excited to go on to something else. That's kind of the goal. You know, you build it, and now I'm going to fly it. You know, fly it a few times, and
What's a Mario 5? Mario 5 is a frame that Speedy B came out with.
yeah,
I
let's
guess
put up a link. Send,
we'll put it up on the screen here.
yeah, it's a good frame, really good. It's built well. It's very inexpensive. You just got to wait. It's coming from China, you know.
Well, you can get it in the stateside now.
Well, that's true. You can get it from Pirate. They've got them in stock now.
Let's see here. Master Mario 5. There we go.
Yeah, $39. Can't beat that. You really can't. It's a really good deal.
39.99.
Advanced version, right? That's yeah.
And here's a DC Pro version, which has some fancier plastic parts to go around the flight controller and the VTX on the back.
More weight.
That drives the cost up pretty good too. That's $54.
And then you have that crap in your way every time you're trying to plug something in.
But
Yeah, you can't beat the price. It's really good price, and it's not cheap. It's not
it's
crap.
no, it's a 30 mil controller mount. Only 30 mil. It has a 20 by 20 and 25 by 25 VTX mount, but only a 30 by 30 flight stack.
Right. And you want to do that anyway. That's perfect for the 30.
And here's the 3 versions they have. There's the light version, the advanced kit. And basically, when you buy the advanced version, they sent you this light version, and then there's a second bag that was the upgrade kit A that has these little sight pieces.
You'll notice that we didn't use these. This is the piece that comes with it, and that's for the XT60, and it comes with everything you need there. But you'd have to print that part right there. We just printed.
Yeah, but Ben's got a 3D printer.
Yeah. So anyway, if you're going to go GPS, if you're not going to go GPS, you just use the stock part, and it has everything, even for the O3 antenna. It's got the little mount, and
so yeah, those are the 3 versions available on it: the light, the advanced, and the pro.
The Speedy B stack is $89.
No, they're still $89.
F7 V3, yeah, it still is. The V3 F7
stack. Yeah, this one right here.
That's what I got in mind. And you go F405 and pay half as much. I mean, it's gonna do the same thing. Just do I need the other bells and whistles? Probably not. But it's there. It's in there. It's got the other thing that the F7 stack or the X7 board has is it has LED plugs, so you can plug LEDs in it. It's got 4 LED plugs, so you can have LEDs all over your quad if you want.
Let's see what's going on with motors. Oh, discontinued.
Yeah, it's $11.99 for those motors. I mean,
yeah, but they got their own 2306.5 1800K. They're $18. That's not a bad price, or $70 for the set.
Yeah, for the heavy duty motors.
So it's a fun little project to build. So
yeah, it was good. It's positive experience. And if, like I said, if you've never built anything, 5 inches is the way to go, just to learn and get it flying, get it to the field, fly it. Don't worry about all the other crap.
and I dropped the link to the frame into the chat for you. So
don't worry about all that other stuff. Just get through the process and get it in the air. If you're a newbie like me or a noob.
Yeah, but I would say get the advanced kit because it's got all the TPU pieces that you need. But they do offer the STLs on their website. Lloyd needs at least a 10-inch. I'm not going to touch that. Okay.
What flight controller do you use, Kai?
I would say Lloyd's got a little bit of wishful thinking going on there.
What was the flight controller you used?
What flight controller did I use? I had a 30 by 30 stack, flywheel stack laying around that I've used that came out of flywheel chasers whoop that I had.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a 50 amp ESC. It actually has a Bluetooth module on it too.
So it's a F7?
It's an F7. A little bit old school. The 3.5? No, that's a 5-inch.
That's a
5-inch.
He took one for the team. He usually doesn't build something that big. What was the last five? Well, you had a Titan that you got rid of. That was a 5-inch. What else?
Well, I got the Master 5 V2.
Master 5. You own the
other Speedy B frame. But this one's got these little tabs in here to hold the camera, and you can download that STL off a Thingiverse and fit a HD Pro camera in there without it sticking out.
Yeah, it protects the camera really good.
And this is the one that survived Kelly, kind of. That's the one Kelly put on the power lines.
Yeah. All righty, man. Oh, I'm getting my phone call here.
The taco call?
Yep.
Man, there's a video to go with that. And it's on my channel. So yeah, Kelly's wreck. There's at the farmhouse. He went over into the big parking lot. Went around the big power lines and thought there was only one set of power lines, and turned out there was another set, and he hit those power lines square on. So
I do have a maiden video that's coming up. I'll put up. I started the video. I did film my maiden, even though it was short. It's only like 2 minutes long. The flight was short. And then I had, like Kai had, I had a bunch of little kids. Holy crap. Had a freaking lacrosse team show up, and then a freaking 7-on-7 group. I even talked to the kids. So they're sitting up there watching me. So it's just like, holy crap. A lot of pressure. And then it was windy all at the same time. I'm like, this puppy's going in the air. Anyway.
Ben, I threw a link to that video and the chat into the chat out there. So
yeah, I think if you go all in all, I'm about 450 into that build there. No.
Oh, he ran out of voice again. He got muted.
Yeah, I gotta do that because I gotta get going here.
Yeah,
I'm getting the upstairs intercom is not working right now. The yell down the steps. Oh crap! Now I'm getting a phone call again. Okay, guys, I'm out of here.
All right, y'all. And I'm taking off too. So y'all, we'll see you next Tuesday, same time, same place. Until then, hit that thumbs up on the way out, please. I appreciate it. Appreciate y'all taking time hanging out with us.
Yes.
And we shall see you next Tuesday.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks, Kai.
Thank you. And y'all take care. Bye.
Later.